On the metallic plains of Cybertron, a shadow loomed over the grand city of Iacon. D-16, the gladiator of Kaon, had risen through the ranks with fury and conviction. But now he stood not just as D-16, but as Megatron, the warlord who had taken control of the planet's destiny. His optics glowed with satisfaction as he watched the broken figure of Sentinel Prime, once the proud leader of Cybertron, now reduced to a mere slave. Sentinel Prime, shackled in heavy chains, stumbled through the dark depths of the mines beneath the surface of Cybertron. His once brilliant blue and gold armor was now scorched and battered, dulled by the endless cycles of servitude. The low hum of the energon drills and the rhythmic clinking of his chains echoed through the caverns, a constant reminder of his fall for power. His back was bent under the weight of his crimes. Once revered as the leader who would bring peace, Sentinel Prime's lies had been exposed by not just Megatron, but his old friend Orion Pax, now Optimus Prime, Elita One, and the High Guard. He had betrayed the very ideals of Cybertron, committing unforgivable acts by conspiring against the original 13 Primes, the ancient, wise rulers who had guided Cybertron through eons. He had been responsible for their demise and seeking to consolidate control over Iacon and personal power of the matrix of leadership. But his deceit had not gone unnoticed. The former miners of Iacon had uncovered the truth, and Sentinel had paid the ultimate price for his treachery. In the deep, forsaken yet unforsaken mines, far from the light of Cybertron's cities, Sentinel's once indomitable will was shattered. Day after day, night after night, his spark dimmed, each strike of the energon hammer, eroding his strength. The mines where Megatron once worked were finally going to show Sentinel Prime the meaning of true suffering, where he had condemned Sentinel to face the slow extinction of his spark. Megatron, standing tall on a nearby platform, had overlooked the mines, gazed down at the spectacle below his cold metallic face, twisted into a grin of cruel satisfaction. How far have you fallen, Sentinel? He murmured, his voice a deep, echoing growl. You betrayed Cybertron. You betrayed the Primes. Now you suffer in the depths, just as you made them suffer. Sentinel, his optics dull from exhaustion, raised his head, struggling to find words. You don't understand. I did what I had to do for Cybertron. For the power of the Matrix. The planet's survival.
Survival?
Megatron's voice roared with fury. You murdered the Primes. You deceived our people. All for your own greed. You stole the future of this planet and bent it to your will. But now the age of the Primes is over. No more false prophets. A new age has begun. Sentinel's optics flickered as he felt his spark weakening, drained by the relentless labor and the guilt that gnawed at his conscience. The Primes, they were memories of the past. Iacon needed a leader who could make the hard choices, not relics from another age. You are weak, Megatron sneered. The Primes understood something you never did. True leadership means sacrifice, and instead you sacrifice them. Now I have the high ground, and you are nothing but a remnant of a forgotten age. The chains clanged, the Sentinel stumbled, collapsing under the weight of his task. His hands, once steady with what was left of his own power, now trembled as the spark dinned further and further. The shadows of the mines seemed to close in around him, choking the last remnants of his pride and spirit. He was no longer the leader of Cybertron, no longer the Prime he had once claimed to be. He was just another spark in the minds. With each passing cycle, the light in Sentinel Prime's optics grew dimmer, until at last his body slumped forward, lifeless, his spark extinguished, consumed by the endless punishment Megatron had imposed on him. Megatron watched as Sentinel's frame became still, a small smirk playing across his metallic lips. So ends the age of Sentinel Prime, he said, his voice filled with grim satisfaction. Justice is served. Cybertron will no longer be ruled by traitors. From the ashes of the old, I shall forge a new Cybertron. A world free of weakness and deception. With a final glance at Sentinel's lifeless form, Megatron turned and walked away, his footsteps heavy with purpose behind him. The darkness of the mine swallowed the remains of Sentinel Prime, marking the end of an era. The future of Cybertron belonged to Optimus Prime and Megatron now.